Hey there, everybody. Good evening to you. I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here to give you a check of the First Alert forecast. We're going to talk about weather here, and certainly there is weather to be talked about. Not only is it freezing cold tonight, temperatures already tumbling this evening, but a big transition in the weather pattern as we go deeper into the work week and approach the Thanksgiving holiday. Thanksgiving Day itself, Black Friday, it's going to turn a little bit warmer, not warm, but warmer, and more importantly, that chance of rain showers and some thunderstorms back in the First Alert forecast. Let's start with what's going on outside right now, and that is the fact that it is chilly. In fact, already cold up in Blairsville at 35, 39 Canton. We are 36 down in Carrollton. So it is a chilly evening and only getting colder by the moment. The clear sky, very dry air, and that lighter wind. All of those factors allowing temperatures to cool quickly. So down to 40 Locust Grove, 41 in LaGrange. Keep in mind that 42 at Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. That was taken about 40 minutes ago, so it is probably even colder by this point. I want to remind you we are streaming live across many locations right now. Michael Baxter is watching Atlanta News First. Thank you for tuning in. Sheila Ware Stevenson watching from Noonan. Janice Jackson, hello to you. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Mike Everett is watching from Bethlehem, Georgia. Michael Baxter happens to be in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Thanks for watching. A lot of times our weather will impact you a little down the road, though I think you're from up in North Georgia. If you're on vacation, hope you're enjoying it. And Janice Jackson is watching from Brunswick, Georgia. We are live Atlanta News First on Facebook, also live on the Atlanta News First YouTube page. Again, if you do not subscribe to either account, all you have to do is search Atlanta News First, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a follow, and then you will be alerted to whenever we do these live streams, as well as other live streams. Again, tonight, though, we're talking about the weather. First, we have to talk about the freeze tonight, the really cold weather, and then the transition to wetter weather. Donna Shirley, hello on Facebook to you, watching from Stockbridge. You're already down to about 41, 42 down on the south side, and it is going to get colder. In fact, let's start with tomorrow morning, because I do want to drive home the point that, yes, we're talking about rain, and that is the text that is attached to this stream on YouTube and on Facebook, but we are also watching the chance of wetter weather in time for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But starting with the cold, dry stuff out the door tomorrow morning, it is plain old cold. Going for just about the coldest temperatures we have seen since really March, last February. 27 in Palmetto, 27 in McDonough, but 30 Embry Hills, Druid Hills, maybe the Chamblee Tucker area, over to Buckhead, Midtown, West Midtown, downtown, down to College Park, Riverdale, East Point, inside the perimeter. All of those neighborhoods are right around 30 degrees out the door tomorrow morning. You get outside at 285, though, and it is colder. 28 Lawrenceville, 27 in Kennesaw, Smyrna, Douglasville, Palmetto, McDonough, 28 Redan. So Decatur, right around 29, 30. Again, a little bit tighter look at that perimeter. You get the idea. Colder outside of I-285 and a little bit, not warmer, but closer to freezing. They're inside 285. But look at the mountains of North Georgia and our far North Georgia communities. 24 Blairsville and Rome, 25 Carrollton, 26 even down in LaGrange, Griffin 28, 28 in Athens, 27 in Covington, 30 up in Gainesville, and low to mid-20s up in the mountains. Recipe is set. It is there for a very cold night ahead. And part of the reason is, as I back up the clock here, notice these clouds. This is a forecast model, and it's doing a good job with our sky condition and with temperatures, kind of nailing the forecast there so far. So it gives me confidence that it has the right idea for our Monday morning. So watch what happens. Skies continue to clear, temperatures tumble thanks to dry air, cold air settling in, and light winds. Again, radiational cooling, any heat, and there wasn't much of it today, but any heat that accumulates through the day, it's allowed to escape back up into space, so to speak, in this setup. And that's what we're seeing. So out the door tomorrow morning, upper 20s, lower 30s for the immediate metro, maybe some low to mid 20s in our typically colder spots, especially up in the mountains of far North Georgia. Day begins mostly sunny, and then clouds try to build back in as we get into the afternoon, with temperatures still by 9 a.m. in the mid-30s, mid to upper 30s, Atlanta, upper 20s, lower 30s up in the mountains. But here we are in the afternoon, clouds increasing, but temperatures rebounding nicely, even up in the mountains, lower 50s. I think mid to upper 50s, Atlanta, Covington, Griffin, LaGrange, and in Cleburne and Randolph counties in Alabama. So tomorrow, a nice day, freezing start, cool day. But by afternoon, it'll feel much more comfortable. Probably only need that light extra layer with temperatures peaking in the mid to upper 50s. in many parts of North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Again, before we dive too deeply into that extended forecast, I want to say hello to folks again on Facebook, Atlanta News First. Rochelle Wilson is watching from Jacksonville. Some changeable weather in your neck of the woods as well. And I'm also monitoring the feed on YouTube, Atlanta News First, the account to follow either on YouTube or Facebook. You may be watching, though, atlantanewsfirst.com and the news app, weather app, Roku, Amazon Fire. A lot of places, but if you want to talk weather and chat about it, and if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns regarding the updated holiday forecast, and you may have been alerted in the Atlanta News First news app about those changes, kind of pushing to this live weather conversation, you can chat. You can ask your weather questions on Facebook, Atlanta News First, and on YouTube, Atlanta News First, both of those accounts, whichever is more readily available to you. As long as we're streaming here, we will be answering those weather questions. But back to the forecast tomorrow, mid to upper 50s, partly cloudy. And then the changes enter the forecast. Let's talk about that rain chance here. Tuesday is kind of storm system number 1. It's a little bit more certain. There is more certainty with the timing behind our Tuesday rain chance. Spotty to scattered showers in the forecast, 30 to 40% chance of rain. I think 40% mainly south of Metro Atlanta, but some rain around during the day Tuesday. As early as Tuesday morning. Tuesday will be a chilly day, but not necessarily a cold day. And then a break Wednesday, actually quite nice. And then Thursday into Friday is when that second system arrives. Data only slowly getting into better agreement, we'll say. So I'm kind of favoring a later Thursday, more so into Friday peak rain chance, but this could be in by Thursday evening and out by mid-Friday morning. But first alert, rain possible both days, in particular Friday. Days to kind of keep a little closer eye on the forecast, especially if you have the outdoor plans, if you have Black Friday shopping plans. Just want to give you the first alert, basically a fancy heads up, letting you know that there are changes on the way, and that chance of rain will be increasing as we get into mid to late week, right as we approach our Thanksgiving and Black Friday shopping holidays. Myra Bell on Facebook watching from Panama City Beach. So we have a lot of folks across North Georgia, Bethlehem, also Stockbridge, Noonan, Coweta County watching, and regional as well, Jacksonville, Panama City, and Florida down along coastal Georgia. Janice Jackson is watching from Brunswick. Donna, if I haven't already said hello to you and mentioned you, Donna is watching down in Stockbridge, Georgia, the south side of the metro. So that is kind of the highlight of the forecast, and probably what's of most concern to people, especially with holiday plans. That rain chance will be increasing as we get into later Thursday and Friday. Here is that 7-day. Again, if you're wondering why we're not on a typical newscast in the studio, we are preempted by sports once again today, our early newscast at least. We'll be live on your TVs, in your smartphones, devices, Roku, Amazon Fire, starting again at 9 p.m. We'll have a 10 o'clock hour as well, and of course at 11 p.m. half hour. But do want to make sure you get the forecast right here. And here is the layout of the next 7 days. Mid to upper 50s on our Monday afternoon. Scattered rain Tuesday. Not everyone sees it. But more clouds around, so not as cold of a start, but also not as warm of an afternoon. Kind of stuck there in the low to mid 50s. And then worthy of a light jacket, but warmer than it has been on our Wednesday morning. We manage mid-60s Wednesday afternoon, peaks of sun. Clouds move in. Happy Thanksgiving Thursday. First alert, rain is possible as we get into the afternoon and more so the evening and night Thursday. That's Thanksgiving Day. And then, timing is probably the most critical part of this system, but also the most uncertain part of this weather setup. With Thanksgiving Day, I think leaning drier, and then as we get into Thanksgiving evening, Thanksgiving night, we'll have a greater chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms rolling through in the forecast. And then moving through the area as well, our Friday morning Black Friday shopping could be wet, and then midday Friday, and then at some point Friday, probably later in the day into Saturday, we will not only dry out, but gradually clear out as a brief bout of colder air moves in. May even be a little colder than what that forecast is showing us. That's just one scenario, but one that we're considering here, and one of the scenarios we'll be looking at as we get a little bit closer to Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday and kind of fine-tune that forecast. Louise Watson, hello to you. Hopefully your evening's going well, watching from Widener on the northeast side. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we're talking about the cold conditions tonight. Up your way in Widener, upper 20s to right around 30, a good bet tomorrow morning. And also we are talking about the Thursday, Thanksgiving Day and Friday chance of showers and thunderstorms as this next storm system moves in from the west. We have 2 to watch this week. One moves through with little fanfare. A little bit of rain around, more clouds, kind of a chilly day Tuesday. That's storm system number 1. Second system causing a bunch of headaches forecast-wise. The exact evolution of the system, the timing of this system is still a little bit uncertain. Luis and Myra and Rochelle and everyone else watching, but it does look like here in North Georgia, later Thanksgiving Day, more so Thanksgiving evening and night into our Black Friday, that is when the rain chance will peak, but there is some uncertainty in that forecast, and we'll be fine-tuning the details, specifically the timing of that peak rain chance coming up here over the next few days. I want to remind you, if you missed this live feed, maybe you're going to watch this moment after the fact. There are places you can still get the forecast at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. First Alert Weather section, upper right-hand corner, kind of gives you a little snippet, or you just click on First Alert Weather. You have a video update, which we sent to the app earlier this afternoon. And also, we want to make sure you get the forecast, keeping you updated here. So upper right-hand corner of this kind of grid of stories, kind of the most important ones of the day. All you have to do is click on First Alert. Weather arrives around Thanksgiving, around the Thanksgiving holiday. And there's a video discussing what we're talking about, as well as some text. So a reminder that you are never more than a couple clicks away from the First Alert forecast, even if we are outside of news time. And here is that 7-day, the layout for you, tracking a cold, in fact freezing, start to the work week Monday morning, tracking a freeze. And then Tuesday, kind of a clammy, cloudy, slight chance of rain day, 30 to 40% chance of hit or miss showers. Looking at some of the evening data, though, may bring that 40% down to 30%. Wednesday, we get a bit of a break for all your Thanksgiving preps. Maybe you're doing your yard work, so your yard looks spick and span and wonderful for all of the guests arriving Thursday. It's a good day for that, not too bad. But as we get into Thanksgiving Thursday, clouds roll in, they thicken up, kind of mild, mid to upper 60s Wednesday, Thursday afternoons, but not too far from average, but warmer than it has been. And then I think by Thursday or Thanksgiving evening, Thanksgiving night into our Friday is when the rain chance really starts to wrap up and to peak, I should say, move in. And it is looking like we will have some wet weather, showers, and maybe a few thunderstorms moving through a Black Friday, in particular the morning. And then as we get into the weekend after Thanksgiving, I do think we're going to dry out a bit, a little shot of cool air on the backside of that system, and then it moves on by, and we are back to fairly normal weather across North Georgia. Gardeners may be wondering about that risk to their plants. We've already had a couple frost freezes at this point. After Monday morning, again, it says plant killer there in the graphic. That's really just for the really sensitive plants. If you've been a little reckless and have not been caring about covering them, maybe you plan to lose them. Tonight is the night that may kill them back or make them go dormant for the perennials. But after tonight, tomorrow morning, it's a little warmer here through our Friday morning, potential of some frost again Saturday morning, depending on if we have clouds and stuff around. But the last real cold morning for a little bit of time here, maybe 7-8 days in the forecast as we get into tonight, tomorrow morning. And then the forecast becomes about the increase in clouds, a couple of opportunities for rain this week, one of which arriving Tuesday. It's not a washout, but some spotty hit or miss rain around with lots of clouds, chilly temperatures in the First Alert forecast. And then a break day Wednesday and First Alert Thursday and Friday. Next storm system that could have weather that, is more likely to interrupt your plans a bit. It arrives Thursday into Friday, but the exact timing, the onset of that greatest rain chance, it is still uncertain, though models, the data we look at in the Weather Center, are coming into a little more agreement here that maybe that rain chance starts ramping up later in the day, Thanksgiving, more so evening and night, and perhaps Friday, Black Friday, ends up being the wettest day. So certainly weather to talk about, but it's not a terrible week. I think rain is hit or miss Tuesday. It's really just later Thursday and Friday that we're watching now, but a reminder that it's a complicated setup and there could be some changes to that forecast, and we'll be the first to alert you to those changes. AtlantaNewsFirst.com, news app, weather app, of course, live streams like this. And on Atlanta News First, we'll be passing along any changes there on those platforms. And it's just a complicated setup where changes to our west, what is happening across Texas to southern plains, can actually impact our forecast here, specifically how long does that system sit over the southern plains before getting flung eastward so to speak, and impacting the south and the southeast, the Gulf Coast, into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. That is the $64,000 question, and what we will be fine-tuning here and working to solve with 100% confidence in the days to come. Want to check back in on Facebook. Want to make sure I didn't miss any questions coming in. Feed is loading just a little slow, but doesn't look like we have anything new on YouTube. Facebook is about the same. Luis, Myra, Rochelle, Donna, Mike, Michael, and Sheila. Thank you everyone for commenting recently. Tessie, hello to you. Have a wonderful evening. Again, we are live again coming up in just a little bit. Anywhere you are streaming this weather forecast, we can also chat weather in a traditional way on TV, or maybe see us back in the studio giving the forecast. That'll be starting at 9 p.m. on Atlanta News First. Also, 10 p.m. hour, we'll have that 11 p.m. half hour. We had football earlier preempting us, hoping we can go on time tonight, fingers crossed, but we may be just a few minutes late going on for that 11 o'clock newscast, but we will be on and streaming as well across all platforms starting at 9 p.m. Have yourself a wonderful evening. I hope it's been a great one for you. Again, we will be working, the entire team, to keep you updated over the next several days as we await confidence in that Thursday, Friday setup. And again, if you ever have any weather questions, even outside of this live feed, you can give me a like and a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything, any place you can ask weather questions. Just search Cutter Martin, Cuttermartin. Again, have yourself a wonderful evening.